Okay, now I'm in. All right. This is the second video that's going over questions 11 through 18 from the answer key on your study guide. So just make sure that, like I said, if you don't need to watch the whole video, but if you have a certain particular number you're looking for, then that's fine. Okay, and feel free to pause, rewind, etc. So, all right, so this question for number 11 is asking you to order the numbers from greatest to least. So the first thing we want to do is change everything into a same type of number. So usually we use decimals. So I'm going to go ahead. There's not a lot of space, so I'm going to have to kind of cram it. 35% is a decimal. You divide by 100 in the calculator, or you can move it over twice to the left, so you get 0.35. Pi is 3.14. And you could add more numbers after that because it's irrational, but for now we're just going to leave it like that and see if that's enough. 1/3 would be 1 divided by 3, which is 0.3 repeating. You want to write a couple of 3's out so that way you know to compare more than. It's not 0.3. You got to fill it in because it's not 0.3000. Square root of 2, so it's around 1.41. And 0.34, that stays the same. The scientific notation, we move the decimal back once to the left, so we get 0.326. Now, you can also type that in your calculator as well, but the exponent just tells you where to move the decimal point. So now what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and start comparing them. We want the biggest numbers, so we're going to look the furthest to the left. Even though it's not noticed, these are all going to be zeros. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to compare all of these ones. And you can see that the largest of them is going to be that 3.14. So that's the first number on our list, which is pi. When we write our answers, I'm trying to think of where to fit it. I'm just going to kind of write it down there. You want to write them in the original form. Okay, now we can block that one out. That one's gone. All right, so the next one after that, we're going to keep looking in the next line. So now we have all zeros except for the square root of 2. So that's going to be our next number, square root of 2. Get rid of that 2. And that's going to take rid of that one. Okay, now everything in this column has the exact same number, they're all zeros. So we're going to move to the next column, the tenths place. All of them have 3's. That's not helpful. We can't compare if they're all the same. So we're going to move to the hundredths. Now we can compare. They're all different. 5, 3, 4, 2. So because we're going greatest to least, we're going to take the next biggest, which would be this one, 0.35, which was 35%. So that's next. Now we're looking, we have 3, 4, and 2. So we're going to take the next biggest one, which is 34, or 0.34. 34 hundredths. Now that's gone. Now we just have these 2 left. The next biggest would be the 3. So that's the 1/3. I'm going to have to erase because there's not enough room. So the 1/3 would be next. And then the last one is the one in scientific notation, 3.26 times 10 to the negative 1. Whew, those take a while. Okay. All right, so there's your final answer there from greatest to least. Or remember that word, this is descending, right? So don't forget that either. Okay, now we're going to figure out which classifications the real number system describe all the numbers in the set. So we're just going to use the letters in order to indicate. It has to be all of them. So looking at number 13, we're going to start with each one has to fit. Are they all natural? No. The only one natural is that guy, 81. Are they all whole numbers? No. They're fractions and decimals, negatives, so that's out. Are they all integers? No. This one's an integer, but this one is not. Are they all rational? Yes. They're all decimals or fractions. So that's the first one we're going to put for this is Q, and they're all real. That's all the rational and irrational numbers. Okay, the next one, we can already see a square root of 3, so I'm going, are they all irrational? And they are. Irrational numbers, they're crazy, they don't end, and they don't repeat. So that's going to be irrational and also real. All right, looking at number 15, this would be -1, 1, 0. Remember this, 14 over 2 is 7. Square root of 25 is 5. All right, so are they all natural? No, these two are, but the other ones aren't. What about whole? Well, these 3 are whole, but the other ones aren't. Or excuse me, these 4. Are they all integers? Yes. So that's going to be where we start. If they're integers, they're also rational, they're also real. All right, the last one, are they all natural? Yes. So that means it's going to be natural. That means they're all whole, they're all integers, they're all, we'll do the Q first, rational, and they're all real. Okay, number 17. The diagram represents between two sets of real numbers. Which classifications a real number system could 1 and 2 represent? Okay, well, let's say the first one says integers and rational. So that means the integers would be on the outside and the rationals would be on the inside. That's not true because there would be nothing out here. And there's numbers that are in this group that wouldn't fit in the integer group, like 1/2. So that's it. All right, are they all, the outside's real and the inside's irrational? That means that all irrational numbers are real. That's true. All right. So then this one says 1 is natural and 2 is whole. That means all whole numbers are natural. Not true. 0 is not a natural number. All right. Irrational and rational, that's a no. There's nothing in common with those two. And the last one, rational and whole. All whole numbers are rational. That's true. So that one's very tricky, but you have to kind of think. If it goes outward, it's always. Whole numbers are always rational. If it goes inward, it's sometimes. Okay, place the numbers on the Venn diagram. So let's see. Square root of 7, that's going to be irrational. 0 is whole. 2.5 is a rational number. And 1/3 is also a rational number. Okay, that's all for this video. Thanks for watching.